Hello everyone, here Eucalyptus. New week and happen many funny stuff. I don't know from where to start. But well, let me explain you at least 3 funny things that happened this week that I'm sure that's gonna distract you for a while. During this week I've been traveling close to the valley of Loire in France. And the first thing that happened to me is that I was sleeping in an Airbnb, and the day after just woke up, I started walking 30 minutes and I saw a mega construction, something really weird, close, following the rail station where it goes the train, like in the Roman Empire, like it was a viaduct where the water was crossing. And I did my investigation. And apparently the French government in the 70s and 80s, they were a bit crazy, and they invested in something that nobody talks now, and now is something that we can see in a futuristic series or something like this. Did you heard about the flying train? So imagine in the 80s, the idea of become the first country that makes 18 kilometers building a train that doesn't go in the rail, that is flying with magnets and goes 18 kilometers in 2 minutes. Oh my god, in the 80s, in the 80s. So I did a bit of research and I was amazed. And I asked the next day to the owner of the next place in Airbnb, and they explained me that was a mega project in France, and they invest a lot of money. Apparently from a city that's called Orleans, from a nowhere village, they built really straight a kind of bridge, really thin bridge, perhaps 18 meters length, but not really big. If you see it, it's something about 4 or 5 meters. So not really huge construction, but really thin. And for 18 kilometers, they were trying to make trains fly by magnet. A crazy idea that never worked. They didn't even try it. They never tasted, but the mega construction is there. So I was walking next to it, close to Orleans, and I was fascinating. I was amazed, because it was something crazy that if arrived to work in the 80s, France would be #1 and the story would change definitely. Could you imagine that? I was amazed. And that is the first thing that happened this week, that just pop up a mega construction in the nowhere that nobody never used and nobody talks about it, and it's there and it's still there. And the neighborhood, they complain in the government, but the government says that it is what it is, and maybe in the future we're gonna use it for other purposes. Can you imagine? Oh my god, this is the first thing. Also, I would like to recommend you to visit Orleans, because it's a really nice area, and you can see Joan of the Arc. Did you hear Joan of the Arc? In Spanish, Juana de Arco. So in there is where she lived, and is the icon of France. So also, if you're interested about the story of why is a legend in France, Joan of Arc, so the right place to investigate and have a pay a visit is Orleans. Have also a nice cathedral, by the way. But this maybe we can discuss it in another situation right now. Let's talk about the second the funny thing that happened this week. The second thing is that I was as well walking, normal situation, and I was really close by to the Loire, that is a huge river here in France, right in the center of France. And I was walking really next to it, and I was explaining my life, doing the direct session with the community, talking with all of you, blah blah blah. And in a moment, I block myself, I stand up, because sometimes I'm looking but I don't see anything, I just see, and I continue the way. And in a moment, I had the river next to me, the right, and the way was inundated, was flooded. I could not walk anymore because there was not way for walking purposes anymore. So the only possibility to do is, in my left was a hill like this, 15 meters high, with full of grass. 17 kilos in my back, saying, how is possible that I didn't see it at all? My God. And obviously, the only alternative was walking back around, I don't know, a couple of kilometers to get back to the way that was up to the hill, or just focus, check the hill, see the best way to go up, and do it. Was muddy, windy, almost raining. The last night was raining, so was muddy and was slashing. And we did it. So there is a really funny video where I took the risk to go up for a hill, 50-meter hill, just climbing, but literally climbing like this with the 17 kilos, almost falling down. Imagine if sometimes it's better to check again this content because it's funny doing it. Sometimes you're so focused, determination to succeed it, but after that you say, oh my God, why I took this risk? Because if I fall down, I would not be here, guys. I would be in the hospital for sure. So was amazing, and everything is filming the GoPro, so I invite you. And in the videos that are in YouTube, the day number 32 is the day that I am close to the river the Loire, and you will see how I broke myself because the path is blocked by water, is flooded. There is no path anymore, and I decide not just go back by the normal regular way, and I am going up by climbing. So was amazing, was super cool because I succeeded, because if not, I almost fall down a couple of times from a height of 8 or 9 meters with 17 kilos in my back. I could broke myself in half. My God, was unbelievable. And the third thing is that to me was really funny because during every morning I am filming, and sometimes one thing comes to my brain and to my mind, I start talking about it. And during one of these days I was talking about when I was young and in the primary school, which are those subjects that I really loved, and those that were more difficult for me, etc., right? And I start remembering about my stories about the flute, yes, and music was one of those subjects that I was really terrible on. So I could do other things, but I never achieved to play well an instrument, and it's not my strength at all. This is what it is. And the funny thing is that remembering that I was terrible and that I never, so usually you had a final exam in June, and if you didn't pass the exam, you have to go to September, right? This is usually when I was young what it was happening in primary school. And I started explaining this in the recording session, and I started crying and laughing. It was super funny. I was laughing and crying. I stopped everything. I was almost falling down because I didn't have strength. It was super funny, and I think that the video also reflected because we were laughing a lot. After that, my family and friends called me to say, what a story, it was super funny, it was super original. Oh my God, it was really cool. Also is in that video. So a couple of funny things happened at the same day, and I will remember forever. I will remember forever because my stories with the float, mama, I was terrible. You cannot imagine. And usually to succeed and pass the final exam in September, because in June you didn't study it in a full year, so you can imagine that in September, when you are 10 years, during summertime you have to try to get back to all the things that you didn't do anything good during the year, right? I didn't touch the flute in June, July, August, and in September, the 1st of September, I was in the exam, and imagine the quality of exam that I did it. It was a drama. I don't know how I approved. I passed the exam, but it was unbelievable, super funny. I am sure that I am ashamed right now, but I am sure that the teacher remembers people like me, I was not the only one, but there is many people that had troubles really playing instruments, and it's something also that I wanted to share with you, that I remember this in one of these videos that I'm doing every morning, and was unbelievable, super funny. Good guys, I hope I entertained you a bit. I wish you the best. Next week for sure more and better, and I wish you a pleasant week. Have fun, take care, and see you soon next week. More podcasts, more funny stuff, and if you are bored, you always can connect the live sessions with me every morning, every afternoon. Yes? Take care. Eucalyptus is with you.